So I just want to make a little chatty video about writing and about publishing and where I am just now in my process. So I don't know why, but recently I've been thinking about like having a 3-year plan. I don't know why I've chosen a 3-year plan. I think it's because I'll be 45 in 3 years, which just sounds crazy, but like, I don't know, I feel like that's the next milestone for me. So everything I'm thinking about in my life in terms of planning and in terms of where I want to be, I'm saying to myself, like, by 35 I wish by 45 I want to be here. So yeah, basically I've been thinking about 3 years and where I want to be and what I want to have achieved, and that's having an influence on how I'm thinking now. So for a while I was quite reluctant to go down the self-publishing route because I went down that quite a few years ago and it didn't go very well. But at that time, you know, the book was, I would say it was just an alright book. It didn't particularly have an audience or a clear audience in mind. And, you know, I wasn't doing any social media. I wasn't on social media at all. Now is the time that maybe I can make things happen for myself, because you can sit around for a long time just waiting, and especially the querying process is so demoralizing, and if you've been through it for a long time it just gets worse and worse and more difficult. And I started to realize, particularly with the book that I wrote most recently, that I'm most excited about and I most want to get out there. That book is called Daydreamers Anonymous. It's to do with maladaptive daydreams, to do with a bunch of characters who maladaptive daydream and they go to group therapy for that, and it's just about, you know, the characters going through that experience and trying to recover. You know, I haven't read a book like this, or a book, you know, about a whole bunch of different characters who maladaptive daydream and how they relate to each other. So it's something that was really important for me to write. I wrote that like a few years now, like when I was going through really difficult mental health challenges. And you know, I was very raw when I was literally trying to sell this to an agent. I had a one-to-one with an agent and I was like too emotionally raw, and like my mental health was just not good enough back then. Like I literally was, you know, maladaptive daydreaming while I was trying to sell this book about maladaptive daydreaming, in which case, you know, I took everything so personally and everything was, you know, just really difficult for me. I was kind of in a mess, and I was in this, you know, very needy place where it was like, oh, if an agent could just like see some worth in this, that would mean everything to me and like get me out of that place. Over the past year, I have talked about this a lot on my channel about improving my mental health. I've seen a professional and I've really worked myself into a place where I feel so much better now. I'm feeling so healthy and so good just in general. Just I feel very calm and very, I suppose I would say I feel very capable, and I just feel in a position where I'm capable of driving this project forward myself. And I realise with the nature of it and having spoken to a lot of people through my channel, it makes more sense that I drive it myself, just because I need to be in control of it and in control of any editing or any changes that would have been done. And I also, you know, I want to control the cover, and I just want to control everything about it, because for me it's a really important book and it's really sensitive, and I really care about the people that it will maybe be of interest to. So I want to make sure like the whole thing is kind of managed correctly. And I think I have this fear, and it's a fear that actually impacted the book when I was writing it, is that, you know, I would need to like make it more quirky, or, you know, kind of change the characters' problems in order to, you know, make it more appealing to an agent, and just like more commercial in a general sense. So I think, you know, once I decided I was just going to do this myself, I was able to edit the book in the way I exactly wanted it. Like, it's a very specific story. It's not veering away from the difficulties of maladaptive daydreaming and, you know, all the challenges. And it, you know, it's a fictional book. It is hopefully entertaining as well as you know, being hopefully something that people can relate to. Anyway, that's the sort of that's kind of on the side. The idea is that I wanted to talk about how I'm now going to kind of push forward with publishing plans and how that's very exciting for me, because I feel like, you know, I've been really sitting back a lot and just, you know, hoping, wishing that something was going to happen for me. And last year, you know, this time last year, actually, I was so depressed. I was in like such a bad state. And it was around this time last year that I did actually reach out for the help that's ended up making a big impact to my life. So, you know, I think this is why I like it right now. I'm kind of looking back to where I was and thinking, you know, in that state that I was in then, first of all, you know, I don't think I could have been making YouTube videos then. I definitely couldn't have been. And I also just did not have the energy to self-publish, or the confidence or the belief in myself. It's like every little thing. Yeah, I know with the self-publishing, there's so much to think about, and every little thing would have been too overwhelming for me back then. I was just like not in a place where I could have done that. And like now I feel just really in a very strong place in order to do that, and in order to do all the things I need to do in order to like bring this book out. So as part of my 3-year plan, I want to publish this book hopefully by the end of this year or the start of next year. Then I have another book that I've been sitting on, which got very close in my agenting experience. In my querying journey, I did have quite a lot of agent interest in that. It just like fell apart at the next stage. So I am still very proud of that book, and I did start to get the feeling, because it's relating to gender, it's kind of about a genderless society, I kind of was getting this feeling that maybe it would be controversial now, or like maybe nobody would want to touch it, because, you know, the thing about gender is it's kind of exploded into this really touchy subject with people, which is just really sad that like we can't kind of have conversations and just be, you know, normal about things and have these kind of grown-up discussions. This book kind of challenges stereotypes and, you know, kind of all the baggage that goes with particular genders. And so the book is like very important to me. And if you've watched my video Maladaptive Daydreaming Gender, you'll kind of know how, you know, the ways in which it kind of relates to me. So yeah, my plan with that book is, I think if I publish my Daydreamers book by the end of this year or the start of next year, then I would kind of hope to edit that next year and have that ready for next year. And then at the same time or the following year, then I would be writing another book. So my very, very bold plan is to have 3 books published by the time I'm 45. I don't know why I'm giving myself like such a big challenge, but I think, you know, I really want to think big. I think, you know, I've been thinking very small for a long time, and I very much fall into the habit of if I try something and I fail at it, I just give up, or I'm just like, okay, that didn't work, and then I get depressed, and then I like sink into like a little hole and don't want to come back out again for years. And I think that's what happened with the self-publishing when I first did it. You know, I was just completely turned off by it because I really didn't know what I was doing, or how to like kind of push that story out there. So I do feel like I'm just, you know, in a better, you know, like mental health position to be working on this, and in a strong position in terms of where my book is. So my book just now, I have got it with an interior book designer and a cover designer, so I'm getting those things sorted just now. So that's why I expect those things could be sorted in the next couple of months, and then I suppose it'll depend on, a couple of months will be December, so it'll kind of depend on when that falls in terms of whether it's worth trying to put that out in December or if I should hold off until the new year. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be proactive. I feel like I've not been proactive in a long time, and I actually think by not publishing this book, I'm actually kind of curbing my own creativity in a sense, or I don't know, I feel like there's a block there because I feel like I've got this book ready and it almost just feels like I need to like birth that book and get that out, and then that's going to kind of open me up to be more creative and to get into another bigger project, I think, because this book's kind of been sitting with me, and even the previous book, like the two of these are sitting with me. They're two things I'm really proud of. And I know lots of writers, you need to shelve works. Like I've written books previously years ago that, you know, I've needed to shelf, and I've got lots of, you know, bit parts of stuff, but these two books are ones that I am proud of, and I think kind of represent me and like the kind of writer I would want to be. So I think for me it's really about kind of taking that leap and just, you know, setting up that kind of writing identity for myself that I've been a little bit reluctant to try and to go towards, because I suppose I've just been like lacking in confidence, and I think lacking in kind of just steam to make things happen. And I didn't want to give I have been struggling a lot with my mental health, and I didn't want to give myself like big challenges like this. I didn't even feel that I could do this. So the fact that I've kind of recognised now that I'm feeling, you know, healthy enough to take on these big projects is really, I just feel like I kind of owe it to myself just to take them on, and, you know, make an author website even though it's difficult, you know, get that ISBN and all the little things that you've got to do for the book publishing, all these little things that I consider just to be too overwhelming. I feel, you know, in a position where I can actually go forward and do those things. You know, I just feel like I've got the energy for that now, and that is what I really want to do. So I hope you follow along with my journey, and I'll keep you updated about how the book is going and when it will be out. And yeah, and hopefully I will keep making YouTube videos so that I can, in 3 years from now, I can look back and be like, I was very ambitious back then. But I certainly hope that I'm in the place that I imagine myself and that I build myself towards. Like, I'm not going to wish for things and hope for things. I'm going to make things happen, and I think that's where I've had this shift in my mentality. So yeah, that is my plan, and I just wanted to chat about this. It's lunchtime at work, and I just got the urge to make this video and talk about this stuff because it's kind of been on my mind. And thank you so much for watching this video. Please do like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.